I've written before has been about somebody else. It's never been about me. This is a new experience. Sitting down and writing about myself, telling my story. I'm accustomed to telling other people's stories. And when you do that, you got to, if you're just telling stories, that's okay and that's fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. I felt like that what I needed to do was examine myself and really be honest with myself and be open about how I made mistakes, how I hurt people, how I fell short, and what I learned from it. And so I hope that the reader will not only have some insight into what was going on in politics in Louisiana at that time, but also the lessons about here are the ways you can go wrong. Here are all the kind of mistakes you can make, and don't don't make these mistakes. Approach politics with maybe more reverence, public service with more reverence than I did on occasion. Well, I chose to focus on my mistakes and write a lot about my mistakes because I just feel like that, if you're just going to tell stories, and I felt like I didn't want to be the hero of the story. I wanted that didn't seem honest, doesn't seem real. To suggest that I made all the right decisions and that I was always acting heroically, just didn't seem right. It didn't seem honest. It didn't seem ethical. And so I didn't start out wanting to really go into great detail about all the ways that I failed, but it just felt like it was the honest thing to do, and it was also very therapeutic. I think everybody ought to, at some point in their life, when they get to be my age or older, they ought to sit back and do an honest account of their life, and that involves going around seeking people out sometimes and apologizing to them and telling them I'm sorry for what I did to you, and I've done a lot of that. There were some people in my life who died before I could make amends, and I've dedicated the book to one of them. But I think everybody at some point in their life ought to take an account of the pluses and minuses in their life and do what they can to try to make it right if they can. I do. I stay in contact with a lot of people and in my life. I stay in touch with Senator Johnston, who I see occasionally. I talk to Senator Breaux once every month or so. Whenever he's in town, we get together for dinner or lunch or something like that. Some of the people that I write about in the early chapters, Dave Norris, who was my mentor, one of my college professors, and who had an enormous impact on my life. I still stay in touch with him. So yeah, there's a lot of these people that I'm still very much friends with and stay in touch with and value still as friends and mentors.